Alright, what's up guys? It's Def from Death Squad TV and I'm back with a brand new video. We're gonna be doing the okay. We're gonna be doing the Try Not to Get Scared challenge. This is gonna be part one. We're gonna be doing part two, probably back to back videos. So if you guys wanna see more of these types of videos, give this video a big like, thumbs up, and all that stuff. And I'm with the homie.
It's Epsy here. You already know who it is. Who about to watch these videos? I don't know what the hell it's on. Surveillance. Them shits.
Yeah, that severe that thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we're gonna see some crazy stuff that we never seen before. Really, I've been playing so many horror games that nothing can really phase me. If something actually phases me, you guys could actually like send that to me on social media and all that other stuff, because you know that's all gonna be down below. So yeah, let's get started.
Number 15, Possessed Woman. Not long ago, a video went viral of a man acting strangely in a convenience store. As he fell to the ground and tugged at his shirt, he seemed possessed. It turns out this wasn't the first video of its kind. A similar video featuring a woman was released in June 2016. The CCTV footage shows a woman casually shopping down the aisles of what seems to be a clothing store. She approached a few items on the shelves before dropping everything and shaking uncontrollably. She seems to be exhibiting the behaviors of someone having a seizure, but she's also screaming and making very deep growls.
Nah, she ain't possessed. She just turned into a zombie. You seen it?
A man approaches her to see if she's okay as others watch in disbelief. She screams loudly and throws her head back and startles everyone. The man helping her even falls down. Her behavior gets worse as she continues to scream and convulse.
Oh, hell nah. What do you help her?
Fuck no.
If it was a store filled with Spanish, Espíritu Santo, Espíritu Santo. Jesus!
Look at the Bible on her ass.
Saka!
Eventually, the group of people calm her down enough to pick her up and walk off camera. Number 14, Brian Schaefer.
Who the
It is
fuck
not
is that?
uncommon for college students to visit bars. Most students get
It looks
together
like a
on
catfish.
weekends or after classes to have a few drinks and
Looks
unwind
like
or even
Tom
discuss
created
school.
MySpace's
However,
brother.
it is very uncommon for
Bill.
a student to disappear in a bar. The story of Brian Schaefer starts out as your everyday college student
What's up with her
visit to
hair?
a
It looks like
bar
ramen
and
noodles.
turns into something out of a sci-fi murder mystery. Schaefer planned a spring break getaway with his longtime
Sci-fi
girlfriend, Alexis
murder
Wagner.
mystery.
He had purchased a hotel room in Miami, and his friends claimed he planned to propose. However, about 3 days before the couple were set to head out on their romantic vacation, Brian vanished. He and his friends went to a live music bar called the Ugly Tuna. They had several drinks and shots. Two of his friends went to the bathroom, and when they returned, Brian was gone. They asked around, but no one had valid information. His friends assumed he just left early and no one noticed, so they also left. When investigators were alerted because family and friends had still yet to hear from Brian, they found out he had not left the bar. He was seen entering the bar with friends on camera, and he was seen standing outside the entrance before going back in and never being seen again.
They stepped on the escalator with Brian in front. As they went up the escalator, Brian turned to look back at Meredith and Clint, and they were laughing and joking and obviously having a good time. This is the area where Brian was last seen. To my right, he was seen on camera speaking with two young ladies that he'd met inside the bar. After speaking with the young ladies, he turned and walked back into the bar, at which time we lost him on camera.
No cameras found Brian exiting the bar or the complex which the bar was located inside. There are, of course, other explanations for him not being seen on camera, but he was never seen again, and some claim that even if he escaped the cameras at the complex, he would have been caught on nearby street and parking lot cameras at least. Brian Schaefer was never heard from or seen again. His family has faith that he will return home someday, as there was never a body or signs of struggle discovered. However, there has been very little evidence found since his disappearance in 2006. Number 13, Jennifer Kesey.
Oh, I
This
thought
young
it said
24-year-old
rewards.
woman went missing in January of 2006.
What?
She was last seen the night before her disappearance,
She got a
leaving
nice
her place
smile.
of employment. Before vanishing, she had made
Photoshop.
casual phone calls to family and friends as she had just returned home from a vacation.
Her teeth are too
last
straight.
phone call was
Gotta
to
be
her
fake.
boyfriend around 10 p.m. According to
Maybe
him,
they're
she
just
seemed
that
normal
nice.
and not in any danger. The next
No,
morning,
but
she
she did
failed
that.
to arrive to work or answer her phone for several hours. Her manager called her parents
Or
to
maybe
alert
they
them
are.
that they had not heard from her. Jennifer's parents immediately drove 2 hours to Jennifer's condo to find that she had been home that morning, but there was no sign of forced entry or struggle. Jennifer's family spent the day searching for their daughter and looking for any evidence of a struggle. Investigators got involved, and 2 days later, an unidentified person was seen by an apartment surveillance system, parking Jennifer's car and leaving it. The car was picked up by local police and sent to a crime lab. The person seen leaving the car became the strongest lead in the case, which isn't good news considering his face can't be seen on the footage. The CCTV camera that caught him up close was the type that takes snapshots every few seconds, rather than recording video footage. In every single frame, his face is hidden by a bar or fencing. This piece of evidence does, however, confirm that foul play was involved in her disappearance. Numerous valuables left in Jennifer's car led investigators to believe that robbery was not the motive of this crime. A search dog tracked a scent from Jennifer's car back to her condo, which makes it seem like either she or the suspect returned to the condo after the car was dropped off. The FBI and NASA assisted in the investigation by enhancing the images and identifying
NASA?
possible details about the
God
person's
damn.
identity. The only useful
Gotta get the
facts
space
determined
people
were that
involved.
the suspect was a young male about 5'3". Jennifer's condo had been undergoing renovations, which led construction workers to be on site nearly 24/7. She had complained to family that the workers would harass and catcall her, but further investigation of the construction workers turned up no new evidence, and none of the men seemed to match the body type of the person who dropped the car. More importantly, these men were illegal immigrants, and if one had quit work between the time of her disappearance and the time of the investigation, there would be little to no way of tracking them down. Jennifer has been missing with no new evidence in her case for over 10 years now. Journalists that have reviewed the CCTV footage name this man the luckiest person of interest ever. Number 12, Goblin. While the creature in the CCTV footage has been called a goblin or gnome, it's not certain what we're seeing. This outside surveillance camera caught the small creature walking up and walking off camera to not return. It seems to walk on two legs like a human, but has very jagged movements as if it's hurt.
Oh,
There also
Chupacabra.
appears to be what could be a mane, or
Oh,
for
cool, cool.
paranormal enthusiasts, maybe some sort of clothing. The creature does have a tail that looks like it matches the mane-like region though. Some viewers have even claimed that they see small horns on top of the creature.
It was up to me, I would
Regardless
just
of
punt
what you
the thing.
believe this is, it's unlike most animals we've seen, especially in
Thing's
residential
ugly.
areas. Number 11, Stairway Ghost. This footage shows a woman who appears to be walking down a stairwell of some building. As she walks casually downwards, she stops in her tracks and seems to fall against the wall in fear. She quickly turns around and runs back up the stairs out of the camera's view. When reviewing the video, you can see the door at the bottom of the stairs seems to fling open and a dark shadowy apparition comes through the doorway. The dark, ghostly figure seems to be masculine, and it runs towards the woman but vanishes midway up the stairs.
What the? No, no,
Number
no.
10, woman attacked
No.
by ghost. This footage allegedly comes from the reception hall of a haunted hotel.
Have you noticed
although
all the
exact name or
people that
location
get
of the
to
hotel is not published.
seen by ghosts are
The
like
woman seated in the room seems to be waiting
Asian?
for someone as she's just hanging out and fiddling with her cell phone.
kind of weird.
As the woman sits in silence, a chair behind
That's a
her
smart
slightly
ghost. He's throwing
startles
the
her.
table at the
She looks
door.
prepared, probably expecting to see a person. When she realizes that there's no one in the room, she returns to messing with her phone, although she does seem on edge. The chair moves again, scaring her to the point that she literally sits at the edge of her seat and makes a phone call. Uncertain who she's calling, maybe just someone to distract her from the tension in the room. While on the phone, the chair to the left of her lunges forward and she jumps out of her seat and falls down a few feet away. She stands up and tries to run out of the room, but a table is thrown which trips her, and she is then attacked by the poltergeist. Her hair is pulled again and she is thrown across the room before tripping again and hitting her head on the tile flooring.
Ghost was like, nah, son. I got you!
Conscious as a few pieces of furniture continue to move by themselves in the room. Without knowing the exact location of this, we can't know if this was a common occurrence, and while the original video claims that this woman died from a head injury, there's no proof, and she could have likely walked away from this with nothing more than emotional scarring.
My bad.
Number 9, Beijing Tiger Attack. This video comes from a security camera on the grounds of Beijing's Badaling Wildlife Park. In mid-July, a husband, his wife, and her mother were driving through the park on a day out. Things took a dark turn when the husband and wife got into an argument and the wife exited the vehicle to get away from the situation. She came around to the driver's side, possibly to speak with her husband more, and mere seconds later a large tiger grabs her by the legs and drags her away. Her husband immediately chases after them.
Tony Montana's
the woman's
neighborhood.
mother also exits the vehicle and a wildlife jeep can be seen driving up, probably to help in this tragedy.
I gotta see this. Where did it come from?
The woman's mother was mauled by the tiger and died on the scene, and she was badly injured and rushed to a local hospital. The park commented that they do allow visitors to drive their own cars through the park, but they are absolutely prohibited from exiting their vehicles. While this story is tragic and terrifying, it serves as a good reminder to follow the rules when it comes to wildlife. Number 8, Elevator Ghost. This terrifying video was posted in 2009 and is timestamped from 2008. It's not certain where this video is from, but it's clearly CCTV footage from the elevators, halls, and stairwells of some kind of office building. In the bottom right corner, we see the surveillance from inside an elevator. 2 office employees are just casually chatting as they ride to their destination. Everything seems normal until the doors open and the 2 men go to exit. As the man on the left, who had been leaning against the wall, lifts up and walks out, a figure seems to appear out of nowhere.
What? The hell?
There was nowhere this figure could have been hiding or standing, as the man was clearly touching the wall while leaning against it. The apparition resembles an elderly, decrepit man or woman who moves slowly towards the door. It even appears to walk outward, although it isn't certain. The ghost never looks up towards the camera and is never seen on the other screens. Number 7, Child Held Hostage. This Walmart surveillance camera caught a very terrifying hostage situation which included gunshots.
I heard Walnut.
In 2013, Sammy Wallace was seen on the surveillance system walking into the Midwest City, Oklahoma local Walmart. He grabbed a shopping cart and walked around aimlessly while talking on the phone. Wallace passed Alicia Keating and her 2 daughters several times before he came back around and snatched her younger 2-year-old daughter out of the shopping cart. He handed a phone to Alicia and told her to call a police officer in Dallas. Alicia was distraught though and just began screaming for Wallace to give her daughter back. That was when he pulled a large knife out of his pants and put it to the girl's stomach. Employees approached the situation and witnesses called 911. As the Walmart was located directly across the street from the police department, officers were on the scene within literal seconds. Chief Claves said that the police negotiated with Wallace for nearly 2 hours, trying to get him to release the toddler. Officers eventually contacted the police officer in Dallas, Texas, that Wallace had been trying to contact. The officer claimed that Wallace had been harassing him, but for what was never explained. Towards the end of the tense situation, Claves convinced Wallace to have a seat. The toddler began to fuss, as she had been calm throughout most of the standoff. As she began to squirm, Wallace squeezed her and moved the knife from her stomach to her neck. Claves claimed that Wallace then began to say things about a satanic cult and started to count down from 60. Nearby Captain Huff was
60?
certain that Wallace was counting down to kill the toddler, or that he had already injured her by squeezing her or making contact with her neck and the blade. Huff shot Wallace in the head and he died instantly.
Wallace then moves the knife up to the girl's neck, and while another officer out of view distracts him, Huff lunges forward, shooting and killing Wallace.
He made sure he was at point blank range so that there was no ability to
That
harm
girl's
the child.
probably
And
deaf
of course,
now.
there's always that chance.
After the situation, Wallace's family claimed that he had been in prison
He's
for
probably
11
deaf.
years. and just moved to Oklahoma because he allegedly saw things in his old apartment. He had a history of mental illness and was apparently not seeking proper
So
care.
he's a schizo.
The most terrifying part of this footage is considering having your child or sibling grabbed up in Walmart. There was no method to Wallace choosing this child. She was just a child, which he knew is what he needed. Something like this is sure to make you hold your children a little closer. Number 6, creepy intruder. In June 2015, a mother of 2 set up a CCTV camera above her back door. For several days, she had found scratches around the doorknob and hinge of the door. What she originally thought was some type of animal ended up being something every mother fears. One morning, she awoke to find that her back gate had been left open and a blade of some sort had been fashioned into a hook and used near the door lock. She reviewed the CCTV footage to find a terrifying man covering his face with a hoodie and carrying a torch. He shined the torch into the kitchen window to assure no one was awake and then proceeded to try and pry the door.
Alright, well, that's gonna be it for the little video that we could actually watch and view. If you guys want to watch the rest of the video, it will be down in the description, the original video, and that's from Top 15s. He's awesome at YouTube. He does a whole bunch of top 15 lists, top 10s, all that other stuff. So make sure to give him a big subscribe, thumbs up, everything, comment that like we sent him there, even though we're nobody. But yeah, but that's really it for the video. If you guys like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff, share, because you guys blew up the last video. So if we could get 5 likes or subs, doesn't matter, but 5 likes in this video, we're gonna release the next video back to back. So I'll see you guys soon in the next one. Peace.
Sheesh.